Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome back to another video. Okay, yeah, I'm so glad you clicked on this video. I'm so glad you came to see how my first half of April has been going. Because like, really, who am I to not record my monthly budget video? Who am I to not record my first paycheck for the month of April or my first paycheck from my second job? Like, really? Let's see what I have been doing for the first half of April that I thought was so much more important. All right. If you're new to my channel, hi, how are you? Welcome back. I am a single budgeter and I am on this journey to pay off debt, save for retirement, build wealth, just be a good steward over my finances. That's what I'm here to do. That's it. And if you enjoy that type of content, please consider subscribing and joining me on my journey and kind of share some of the stuff that I do here on my little corner of YouTube University. All right, so let's get into it. And I'm sorry that I move my hands a whole lot, but I talk with my hands. I do. All right, so let's get into the first half of April. The first half of April, two things. One, I had to have some trees removed from my front yard. Hurricane season, I get them trimmed every year. My tree trimmer guy was like, this makes no sense. Every year you're giving me over $1,000 to trim these trees. Let's just take them out. I'll charge you X amount of dollars and you won't have to worry about it anymore. Cool. That works for me. Soon as I got that done, my hot water heater was like, hi, hello. I don't want to do hot water anymore. I'm over it. I've given you enough years of service. So I ended up having to replace my hot water heater and get a new one. So $2,500 later. Yep. I have no trees in my front yard and I have a new hot water heater. All right. But grateful that I was able to get those two things done. Now, let's see what has happened with my first two paychecks, one from my first main job, which I am a salary employee, and from my part-time job, where I am an hourly employee. As you can tell from here, um, my salary job, I bring home $2,210, and on my part-time job, it was $534.62. So let's start from the beginning. I put $100 towards tithing. I did not. I usually put half of my mortgage in, but because of those two things that happened this month, I did not do that. It will be paid on this week with this paycheck. Electric, I paid $100 towards my electric. So TV streaming, you do not see anything there. And what I decided was I didn't use the TV streaming service. I watch YouTube and Netflix. Netflix is part of my T-Mobile. So I asked my youngest son, does he use it? He's like, no. I know the oldest one doesn't use it. So I decided to not pay for it, let them go ahead and cancel it, and see if we miss it. Because honestly, I think everybody in the house watches YouTube or Netflix or I think Peacock or Paramount, whatever it is. But we don't use that TV streaming service, and that's $30 a month that I have probably just been throwing down the drain. So that's why you don't see that. Cell phone bill, the first half of it will come out tomorrow. That's an automatic draft. Internet is not due until the 22nd, 25th. Apple Family, HP, those are on my credit card. I have moved that money over so that way they can just get paid once those come out. Car insurance is pushed off to the end of the month. Ring plan is the same as the Apple and the HP. That is going to go on my credit card. That money is over in that account. Life insurance, that is an automatic payment every time I get paid from my main source of income. So that was that. Debt, I usually try to pay on my second paycheck, which is my part-time job. I'm trying to pay my debt off using that job. So except for Capital One. Capital One, I sent them $100. And my AC loan, that money is sitting in that account for them to withdraw. It is due on the 17th. That's an automatic draft. So I've already moved that money over. Halstead, if you watch my debt payoff journey, you'll notice that that was my final payment. That is now officially done, paid in full. Car payment, I usually split that in half, trying to cut back on some of that interest that's there. Um, what else? Sparrow, I sent them $40 on that credit card. And this card is one that I used to buy my son's airline ticket. That was the final payment for that. So that is done. I had another miscellaneous payment of $110.50 because of all the stuff that I had to do. Okay, so next are my variables. My allowance, $58. That's what I spent so far. It's $58 because I have been tracking my expenses. Haven't been recording, but I've been tracking. Dining out. Dining out is one of my things every month. And if you guys have any suggestions, please share them with me. Every time I try to reel it in, I think I'm doing good. Boom, it goes left. So I am trying to figure out a way for that one. Um, Gas, no comment, because we all have the same thought when it comes to gas. I'm pretty sure, unless you have an electric car, I'm pretty sure we all have the same thought when it comes to gas. Giving is $15. Grocery, I spent $150 on grocery. I'm not doing anything to my hair. After the beginning of this month, I am not doing anything to my hair. It looks fine. It will be fine until May. Household, $15. I had to buy paper products, and that's all. That's all I needed for household. Nothing else, nothing more. Do I need to, I have 40, but I don't need to do anything else for household. Lawn care. Once the trees were removed, I had to order topsoil, had it delivered. That way it can cover up where the trees and everything were. So yeah, I've had to spend quite a bit on lawn care, which is one reason why I'm not getting anything done to my hair. Trying to get this yard so where like one with the trees being gone to make it still look presentable. Because my city will find you, or you know, the code enforcement will say something if your yard doesn't look up to par. And here's this 820. That was for um, the hot water heater. The part for the um, tree trimming that came out mostly from some of my March money and some other money that I had to pull. So this is for the hot water heater. That was for the heater, which the hot water heaters are over $400. And then for the installation of it, I was trying to figure out on YouTube how to install it myself. I was. If it wasn't that it was electrical, I probably would have tried it. All right, Peacock, HBO Max, CapCut, and Amazon. They all go on my card, and I just moved that money over. So that what that money got moved over to. I didn't do a single thing when it came to sinking funds. It did not. Um, Next is my savings. So with my savings, on one of my videos, I mentioned about Navy Federal having a certificate type program, which means, and I consider it as a exercise for savings because I know I do move money over into one savings account or it's automatically deposited into that account. So what I wanted to do with this one was kind of build up my savings muscle, if you want to say it. And I put $50 per month into this certificate. I can't touch it. I think if you like really, really have to, you can go into it, but I don't want to. And then after a year, it's moved into my savings. And I actually received an email or a letter saying that you can do more than one. So that's what I'm doing with that one. This peace of mind, this is what goes into a separate account every time I receive money from that second job. So that goes there. And then I have my other savings, which is the future me. from my savings that I just put over there. Now that's the one that I can pull from. This one I can pull from as well, but I don't want to. And then this one, don't want, definitely not touching. And that's it. That is what has happened these first 2 weeks of April. I am not complaining. I am not upset. I have just been focused on those two things, getting that done. It's the end of the semester, so I've been trying to stay afloat with my class, making sure my grade stays up to par, and hopefully I'll get a decent enough grade in this class. I got to do some studying, but I am nearing the end. I think we actually have like 1 or 2 more weeks, and that's it. All right. Thank you so much for watching as usual. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting. And my one thing is I hope that I can get out of my way so that way I can share with you guys what's going on behind the scenes. That's the one thing that I want to do in 2026. Actually, that's one of my goals for second quarter, is to just kind of get out of my way. All right, guys. Thank you. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye.